In this video, I'll talk about the two ways to use complementary colors. And it's in my book, The Art Instruction Course, Color and Light, with a link to the book at the bottom of this video. The first strategy when using complementary contrasts is to isolate it at the focus. For this violet-colored swan, I used yellow, the complement to violet, only at the head, and that gives the image some interest. If there's yellow everywhere, then the complementary contrast is diluted. If there's no yellow, well, it's just a little boring. Optical dazzle should be used at the focus where the saturation is maximum, and you begin the eye path with dull colors and gradually increase the saturation and contrast toward the focus. The second strategy with complementary color uses repetition and integration to build a cohesive world. In my London painting, the goal isn't just to show one object, but to weave an entire atmosphere together. Juxtaposing complementary colors creates some optical dazzle, especially since the oranges are saturated and they're next to dull blues. That heightens the saturation of the oranges. In other areas, the colors have similar values, like the sky and the road, unifying these areas together. The semi-neutral browns and grays were made by mixing orange and blue together. In some areas, the neutral color leans toward orange, while in other areas, it leans towards blue. With all these complementary contrasts scattered all over the picture, how do you establish a focus? Well, the focus here is the individual, and I did use a concentrated version of the complementary contrasts. She has orange hair, a blue shirt, orange pants, and these colors are repeated in the reflection. In addition, we tend to look at humans first, then man-made objects, and finally nature. She is isolated and a thin figure surrounded by large objects, and she is moving in the opposite direction to the buses. Now, normally that might not be a big issue, but in England, the buses are on the left side of the road. And finally, she lies at the intersection of the rule of thirds, where you break up the painting into a tic-tac-toe pattern, and the figure lies at the intersection of these lines. In this picture, I took a slightly different approach when forming a focus. The main picture is red and green, as indicated by the R's and the G's. There are a few color accents with violets and blues, but the color scheme is mainly red and green. The focus is this person here who has a cyan shirt and a red-orange cap. So his color scheme goes along this way. And so he breaks the dominant red-green pattern. In this picture, the complementary color acts as a stabilizer and an accent. This first grid has only warm colors like yellow, orange, and red, so it can feel stuffy or oppressive without any temperature contrasts. But the second one has some blue in it, the complement to orange, making the design feel fresher and more balanced, even though the palette still remains mainly warm. So the cool blues act as accents for the warm colors, making the warm colors appear more vibrant. While we use the restraint of strategy 1 by introducing only a few small accents of blue, its purpose is closer to strategy 2 because the aim is to balance the overall mood rather than to create a focal point. I encourage you to take a look at my book, The Art Instruction Course, Color and Light, which is AI approved, and on Amazon. And please remember to subscribe.